What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another album review. Today, if you haven't already read the title, we are doing a highly requested album review. Dude in the comment section has been telling me to do Lil Boosie, and I have not came around it until today. So we are going to be doing an album review of Lil Boosie, Bad As. Now, I only put the "as" at the end because I obviously want to make this a PG channel because my nephews watch this and probably other kids watch this, so I just want to keep it as PG as possible. But this is Lil Boosie's third studio album, released October 24th, 2006 under Trill Entertainment and Asylum Records. So without any further ado, man, let's hop into this album review. First song we got on this album is When You Gon' Drop. Obviously referencing when he was gonna drop another album or just another project in general. I think it's honestly a good first intro song to start off with. But getting into the production, I feel like the production definitely brought that southern sound that I knew was gonna be popping on this album. And it just has like that different like taste to it. It was like a new thing at that time to have kind of them weary, bubbly kind of sounds into the music. So the production was honestly very solid overall. And getting into the lyrics, I already know Boosie is gonna bring the energy right away, has good cadence, flow through the track very well. He had a lot to say of when he was gonna drop and had us waiting pretty much around that period of time. But I think he was doing flawless on this song, and for an intro song, it's amongst one of his better songs in my opinion. Pretty underrated if I'm being honest, so definitely a good start. Next song we got on here is Set It Off. You ain't my equal, we ain't people, I ain't wanna get. Since 98, I grab my... Easily the most popular song on this album, if not the most popular song in Boosie's whole catalog, if I'm being honest. Like, you cannot tell me that you've never heard this song. Even if you don't know who Boosie is, you have to, like, know this song. Like, it's almost like a crime not to know it. Yikes! But besides all that, getting into the production is amazing. The bass is knocking. I mean, you play this in the car and you got them good speakers, everyone's finna hear what you playing pretty much. And not only that, I mean, this song is all over TikTok, all over shorts, videos. Like, it's pretty religious on YouTube, and I think many people can quote this song. Maybe not from front to back, but like, it's just a good anthem song, really. And getting into the lyrics, again, had so much energy. I loved his cadence throughout this song. Managed to flow through the track very well. And I mean, just a nice look on this particular song. I think this is definitely one of the better songs on the album, honestly. Next song we got on here is Zoom featuring Young Jock. I have not heard that name in a while. I feel like when we start off with the production, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not even gonna lie. It's kind of like simple production. It's like this weird kind of sound going on with at least a decent beat type. But it just sounds kind of like lackluster in a way. It doesn't seem like much went into the production more than it did maybe the lyrics. So the production is okay. It's acceptable, but it's like not my favorite if I'm being honest. And then when we get into the lyrics, I feel like Boosie was a little on the low end with this song, but I feel like he was able to keep up with the pace of the production, not really do nothing too crazy. And I feel like the Young Jock feature was kind of boring. Like, he wasn't really like loud. Like, he was very quiet throughout this song, which kind of made it like a boring feature, honestly. But Young Jock around this time was popping, so him being on the song alone brings a lot of attention, but it just didn't bring enough attention to me to really pay attention to it, if that makes sense. So on the low end, I mean, it's not the worst song on the album, but it's definitely not really one of the better songs neither. It's like in the middle. If I get to listen to it a couple more times, maybe my opinion can change every now and then, I don't know. Next song we got on here is Movies. Thank God for blessing me and hit you with this recipe. Yeah, you got more bread than me, bitch, but I know you scared of me, bitch. Don't wanna holler, bitch. I feel like this song was honestly pretty cool. It wasn't nothing too crazy. I feel like the production, for the most part, was a little more settling, but had a really good upbeat to it. I feel like the sound in the background giving you kind of that southern Louisiana kind of vibe to it, I thought was a really nice touch. I hear the different instruments in the background that are very unique. But overall, I say the production is very low key, and when it gets to the lyrics, I feel like it's something a little different. It's crazy because he's just as calm on the beat as you can be, but like he talks about so many gruesome things in his lyrics that it makes you think. Basically, what I'm saying is it feel like it should give more energy based off of the lyrics he's spilling, but like maybe that's just my take, but like just everything was so gruesome on here. Like he said something about ripping out a tongue and I think somebody eating it, and I'm just like, that's insane. But I would say overall a pretty decent song if I'm being honest. Next song we got on here is That's What They Like.
Big name, big watch and big chain, big old big earring, bling. That what they like, oh she like that, huh? That what they like.
I think this song was pretty good on the low end. I feel like the production wise was decent. It was very like again on the low side, but it had a really good upbeat and just a really good sound overall. And I feel like I gotta give Boosie credit because he kind of makes it like an anthem song more than just a song that you gotta listen to the lyrics and pay attention to the different metaphors. Like, I know he's not about that, but he definitely makes good club bangers and, good anthem songs just like this song, for instance. Because honestly, I do think the hook was very catchy. I feel like what he was matching with the energy of the production was honestly very consistent. So I feel like out of all songs, this is pretty underrated. I could see myself listening to this a couple more times, and I would say one of the better songs on the album. Next song we got on here is I Remember.
Outside with no shirt, I remember, nigga. Talk loud in that church, I remember, nigga. Nigga stole all my work.
I thought this song was honestly very, very good because obviously him going back to remembering things, either good or bad, I think reminds him of where he's at now, or at least at that time. I think the production was honestly good. It had a really nice like tone to it. The beat was really good, and I just like the production overall. I think it was just very fitting based on the subject that mattered. And when we get into the lyrics, I feel like the storytelling wise was very good. Talking about he remembers when he was on the block. He remembers when, he didn't have no food, for instance. Like just the struggle, but he also remembers when he got his maybe first $1,000 or just got his first like rack or something or got his first car. Like he's basically going back to memory lane, which I think is really dope. So overall, I feel like a pretty good song. I honestly can't complain about it too much. Very good quality and stick to the subject that matter, and I think that was very important. Next song we got on here is Soft to Hard. Pause, because it just really doesn't sound right. Featuring Fox and Big Head. I feel like this song was okay. Like, it wasn't really my favorite, if I'm being honest. The production definitely gave you kind of that laid back kind of production wise. The beat was very slow. It was a very like slow paced song in general. So it just wasn't what I was expecting from a Boosie album in general. So I was a little disappointed. And I feel like at this point, like it was hard for Boosie to really match the energy of this production because such a aggressive and fast pace that I feel like this one, he was like trying to like match the production too much and it just didn't really sound right to me. And I feel like the features were okay, nothing memorable if I'm being honest. I don't even know who any of these people are. They're probably like underground southern rappers, but I mean, this song is like really just on the low end. Like it could be mid at best. I'll give you that. Next song we got on here is My Struggle. Feel like a song that I honestly think anybody could relate to. Not as far as what he mentions, but I feel like everybody has struggled in this world, but he gives us his introspect of his struggles. But starting off with the production, I do like the kind of playful production that he's able to bring. A really good beat type. I love the different sounds in the production that makes it very unique. And it definitely just brings that like true sound out. But getting into the lyrics, I feel like the lyrics were honestly pretty good. I think the hook was very catchy. Obviously mentioning many people don't know his struggle. Like he's went through so much if y'all have ever paid attention to his career. And I feel like honestly a pretty good storytelling song and honestly one of the more popular songs on this album, so it's for good reason. Next song we got on here is I'm Mad.
Knock 'em in this bitch. Let me get some ass right. Who it is at the door? They play the track like they criticize me.
Personally, one of my favorite songs on this album. It brings the exact Lil Boosie that I would want to hear way more often than anything. First off, the production brought so much energy, had a really good beat type. The bass was knocking. It just had that nice, weary kind of West Coast sound to it. I was like, yo, this production is top tier. And then when we get into the lyrics, he's just so like aggressive with the beat. Like it just makes so much sense. Like it really does. And he was obviously describing reasons why he would be mad. And I mean, he went in on this song and that's why it's personally one of my favorites. And I mean, I would argue a very underrated song because it doesn't seem like it has that many plays, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this song in retrospect. Next song we got on here is My Ninja.
Smoking weed in the park by scene, and our eyes trying to make it home from flipping off the clothes, nine holes in our.
I'ma just put it like that. I thought this song was honestly really good. I was very skeptical about it, but I'll tell y'all the reasons why I think it's good. First off, the production was very decent. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like it had a really good beat to it. I feel like the trumpet sounds in the background. I'll never do that again. Please don't. But basically what I'm saying, the trumpet sounds were really a nice touch to it. I thought that was really a nice piece to just add to the music and the production in general. But I think overall as the sound, it's a very slow paced kind of production, but that's what I was worried about going into it, but it honestly blended in so well. And then when we get into the lyrics, obviously he's saying he got love for his brothers, like the people he came up with, and he's basically making this kind of an anthem song, like if you got love for your brothers, like, you know, say this or say that. So I feel like it's a very good song, very underrated once again in a lot of other songs on this album, and personally one of my favorites. Next song we got on here is I Represent featuring Webby.
The hustle, the dime sack selling, the ATO convicted felon. Nigga, I represent.
Another kind of low-key song that, you know, isn't bad but isn't like amazing at the same time. I feel like the production was decent. It was kind of on the low end. It wasn't really the energy that I wanted. Not to say I'm expecting an energetic song every single time. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like at this point of time, I kind of expect to hear it a little bit more. But the production wasn't bad. I mean, it had a really cool sound to it. But again, I just don't feel like Boosie match the energy of kind of this low-key production, and that's where he lost me, honestly. I feel like lyrics-wise, both Webby and Boosie were decent. I just feel like their energy wasn't really like on with the production, and that's what bothers me. That's kind of like the little nitpicking I'll do every now and then, but like it just didn't work for me. So again, it's not the worst song on the album, but it's not really a song I would go back to or even pay attention to for that matter. Next song we got on here is Hating.
Nigga hated my mama, tell my daughter call him on. I treated him like he was donkey and he told on me. The judge.
Obviously a very common thing in today's world. Everybody hates everybody on something they do or something they look forward to doing. No matter what it is, good or bad, everyone's just gonna hate. And I feel like he described it the best way within this song. But first, let me get into the production. The production, again, was on the low end, which I was very skeptical about. I'm not going to lie. I feel like it had a really good piano sound, a decent beat type, and wasn't really nothing energetic. It was very low key and just laid back. I feel like once we get into the lyrics, I feel like Boosie finally matched the energy of the production. That's what I wanted when he got on productions like this. And I feel like his lyrics definitely hit different because he goes throughout history of people hating on other people basically, and I thought that was very interesting because at this time he didn't really have to explain anything like that, but he was able to educate us on certain acts of hating and different reasons of hating, and how he doesn't really understand why people be hating on him, and that's just the industry today. So a very relatable song, and I would honestly say a very underrated song due to the subject. Next song we got on here is FU featuring Webby and Pimp C.
Damn, nigga, how you do it like that? Make the gangsta ass niggas bumping music like that. Make them big fine hoes.
I thought this song was very fitting. The production definitely gave you that true like southern sound, but it also gave you kind of that just energetic sound in a way. It was low key but energetic at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. But overall, I definitely enjoyed the production. But getting into the lyrics, I thought the lyrics were very dope by everybody. Hook was very catchy and everybody had a good verse and matched the energy of the production overall. And I feel like the features this time on this song was definitely very good. Hearing Pimp C, may he rest in paradise, had a very good verse that as I expected. And then Webby's verse and Boosie's verse was obviously very iconic. They were able to stay on par with the production and stay on par with each other. And I think this made a very complete song overall. And I would also say another very underrated song due to it having very low plays. Next song we got on here is Exciting featuring Webby.
I had to get my shit together, man. I didn't like it. I had too many hoes. Say that. Who trifling?
I almost forgot about him. He literally is featured almost all over this album. I thought this song was cool. I think it's a good song to add in the background of maybe a movie or just a short video, but let's get into the production real quick. I feel like the production was honestly pretty good. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It has a pretty good upbeat, a very good sound in the background, and I would say honestly pretty solid production at best. When we get into the lyrics are pretty cool. It's basically Boosie just flexing and being excited about all his success as he should. But I feel like the feature of Webby was just kind of low energy. I wasn't really that engaged in his feature at all. Overall, I would say at best it's a good song. At worst, it could be mid. So a little bit of just in the middle. Next song we got on here is Distant Lovers.
When in the Mr. Telephone Man, girl, you know I miss you. So many miles away and I can't kiss you.
I would say a pretty relatable song, at least maybe for me, because I remember experienced distance love, and it can be good and bad, but I feel like the best way to get the right description is by listening to this song. When we start off with production, I feel like the production was honestly decent. It was a very laid back, low key song, but Lil Boosie was able to match the energy of the production, and I really enjoyed that a lot. When it comes to the lyrics, he's obviously describing the distant lover that he has that's miles away, and they gotta go through text, phone calls, and video calls, and around this time, I'm guessing he didn't have money to obviously go see her or go visit her or fly her out, but he's able to fly girls out now, so hey, good for him, But I feel like if anybody has experienced distant relationships or distant lover situations, you would know what Boosie's talking about within this song. So I would say a pretty good song, pretty underrated, because I feel like the song in general is honestly pretty good. I would listen to it again. Next song we got on here is Going Through Some Things featuring Boosie and Webby.
I've been going through some things, and don't nobody understand, man. I won't like it, man.
The only reason I say I don't know why Webby's featured on here because he's not in the song. He's not rapping, so I don't know if he just did the production wise or something, but I guess we'll figure it out. I feel like the production was kind of on the low end. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I just feel like it was kind of like lazy production. I feel like it was kind of too basic to really connect with. No good thump. There was no good bass. The beat type was okay. The sound in the background was kind of like a church piano in the back, which was a nice touch, but it just didn't bring enough energy that I really wanted. When we get into the lyrics, though, I feel like the lyrics are pretty cool because obviously he's describing things that he goes through. And I think that explained like what I said earlier in his earlier songs. Like he's been through a lot. So it's pretty much the same description. I'm not going to really repeat it again, but he's obviously went through a lot. But all in all, I feel like it's just kind of a mid song. It's a song that I kind of bypass just because I feel like it's kind of one of those throw-in songs. So it's okay, but it's not one of my favorites. The last song we have on this album is Smoking on Purple featuring Webby.
Got you feeling great. Look at my CEO like CEO, let's get this cake, baby.
Outro song to end off the album. The production, I think, was very good. The beat type was really good. I was honestly surprised. Very slow paced production, but it was able to like live up to the hype, I feel like. And honestly, a thumbs up for the production. When we get into the lyrics, I was impressed by Webby's verse. His verse was honestly very good. They were able to get like a really good story time of Smoking on Purple, which I thought was honestly pretty iconic. And the way they were able to just storytell and describe the situation, it definitely makes you envision what was going on. And, you know, I think that's obviously a really cool thing. But overall, I feel like this song is decent. It's definitely one of the more popular songs due to the plays in this particular song. So I would argue definitely one of the better outros. But now that we have finished with the last song, it is time to get to the 6 credentials. If you don't know the 6 credentials, you're going to find out now. So the first credential we have is production. I feel like the production was honestly very good, very upscale Southern Louisiana sound that was very popular around the 2000s, the late and mid 2000s, of course. And I feel like you really can't go wrong. There were a couple of the productions that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but if I'm being honest, like I'm not gonna down the rating too much based off of those little bitty productions. So if I had to rate it 1 through 10, I'm honestly giving it a good 9 out of 10. Next credential we got is features. Not the most mind-boggling features, not the most impressive features, I will say. The only feature I recognized throughout this whole album was Pimp C off of UGK, but other than that, everybody else maybe seen more of that kind of local artist that he was able to grab and put in within the song. But I feel like for the most part, the features did pretty good. But if you're looking at it from face value, you're not really that impressed. But again, I mean, you're not really looking at a Boosie album thinking he needs this many features. Because if I'm telling you the truth, Boosie don't really need features. I feel like he could do a whole solo album on his own and still do pretty good. But if I had to rate the features, truthfully, 1 through 10, I would honestly give it like a good 7. I think that's safe to say. Next one we got is rap performance. I was very impressed by Boosie's energy and his cadence and how he was able to stay on beat. His flow was amazing. I loved the energy he was bringing. If I had to be honest, I'm honestly giving his rap performance a 10 out of 10. Next one we got is Context. I feel like Context was definitely on par with a lot of songs on here. He never got off a subject. He never trying to come up with random stories that didn't really happen. I feel like he gave us the real life situations, and I feel like that's all he could do. And I'm not mad at the Context at all. I would honestly, on the low end, probably give it like a good 8 out of 10. Next one we got is creativity. I feel like this kind of blends in with the context, but the creativity on here was very good. I liked the different sounds he was able to give us, the different flows he was able to give us, surprisingly, because I was critiqued on some of his flows. But I feel like creatively he was just giving us something new, and it showed that he wanted to be versatile within the album and just within certain subjects that he wanted to describe. So I would give him honestly a E for effort, but I will give him a solid 8 out of 10 on creativity. And then last but not least, we got album covers. The album cover's not bad. It's not like the most, I wouldn't say it's not appealing, but it's not like the most grabbing kind of album cover. I mean, if I seen this in a vinyl store, I would think it's decent, but it wouldn't urge me to listen to it right away. It's kind of just one of those basic album covers that you could honestly make on your computer real quick or even on your phone. And I mean, it's pretty simple, but I feel like maybe at the time it came out, it was obviously a big deal, but looking at it now, it's like, it's okay. It's not nothing special. So if I had to give it a 1 through 10, I guess I could give it a good 6 out of 10. That ain't too bad. But with all that being said, the album as a whole, final verdict, I am giving it a good 7 out of 10. And comment down below what other albums y'all want me to do. I want to give a shout out to the dude that was requesting this album over and over. I appreciate you. Now you got my honest opinion of this album. That will do it though. I'll catch y'all next time.